So what I was saying was we'll probably have less people on tonight because when people are required, or not required, but suggested, in which you don't have to have your dream board tonight, but whenever you bring up those type of things, sometimes people are like, don't get on, just for the simple fact that they haven't done it and they don't want to feel like they didn't complete something, right? But here's the deal. Your dream board is always evolving and it's always changing and it's always going to shift and it's always going to be adding and taking away, or you see something and then you're like, wow, like I need to redream this. I need to dream bigger, or maybe you just set your goals. And sometimes, guys, listen, we set things up and we're like, it sounds really good, but it's not really realistic. And we have to change that just a little bit. That doesn't mean that you gave up on your goal. It just means that you saw a different path. Like, Stacy says it all the time. There's 100 ways to get to the beach. And the reality of it is that that's the truth, right? So sometimes we've got to take steps. So I'm going to share with you some different ways that I have created dream boards, vision boards over the years. I have made collages and put them on my background on my phone. And I'll tell you, that was nice because every time I picked up my phone, I had to see that. So if you're somebody that really needs it, like in your face on a daily basis, I highly suggest either taking a picture of your dream board that you created by hand, or going on the internet and creating pictures, like grabbing pictures and just kind of putting things together that symbolize what it is that you want to accomplish. And by doing that, I'm saying, like, instead of you saying like, or okay, say you have been 100 and like, one of my things is 165 pounds. That's what I want to be by the end of the year. That's the goal weight that I've set for myself, that I've set, like, whatever. You could get a scale and you could put that 165 on that scale or something, if you wanted, or you could just take a picture. Maybe you have a picture of yourself at that goal weight and you want to put that on your dream board, whatever. I'm not creative. And so my dream board has words, guys, words. My kid must have had hold on a second. My kid must have had the background thing on. Did you guys see that? Look. I'm gonna have to put, what's going on here? How do I stop this shit from happening?
Literally, you're a giant leaf. So that's good. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'll run the rest of this since Amanda's gone.
Just go to more and go to virtual backgrounds and you can turn it off.
Okay.
Hi, Stace. Hi, Stace.
Oh, no, mine's not showing up.
It's Stace.
Oh, you look like the devil right now. You look like a praying mantis.
Amanda, of course you get the grass one and not the nice beach one, like you're on a beach.
I know, and I can't figure out, guys, how to get it off of there. And when I hit more, it says live on Facebook, live on YouTube, pause, stop recording.
Amanda, do you have like the 3 little dots like in the corner of your picture?
Up top, yes.
Maybe it's there.
Edit profile picture, spotlight video. Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right, I found it. Go to the little check mark in the left-hand corner next to the little eye.
Wait, what?
There's a little check mark.
Oh, is it,
Amanda, are you on your computer?
Yeah.
Where it says stop video, there's an arrow right beside it. On the bottom left.
Yeah.
Okay. Use virtual background. Click that and then click none. All right. Moving on, people. Jesus.
Where do I click none?
Click virtual background. Even.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
You guys, I swear, like, I have not been drinking. I literally just poured a glass of wine. I am so sorry about that. Anyways, what I was going to show you was, Pekka, you just took the. So my dream board literally has words, okay? And because I am not a creative person, and it really stresses me out to try to find pictures that say what it is that I want when I could just write the shit down, okay? So for me, if it's not creating a collage by Google Images or whatever, but creating pictures, cutting them out, like I am not a scrapbooker, if that gives you any hints here, okay? Like that's just not me. So what do I have on my dream board? 165 pounds, because that's huge. A new front porch. Guess what? The guy came last week. He's they're going to be starting in the next 4 to 6 weeks, so that's already in process. Fence around the house. Again, the guy came and he already did the estimate. We have to pay the deposit, and he said 4 to 6 weeks as well. So that's already in thing.
That's more for your safety though, right? That's more for your safety though, right?
What?
Your fence around your house?
Yeah.
Because you have drunken high people in your front yard every day?
Jamie, we had to call the cops this morning, so.
I know. If you guys ever follow Amanda's stuff, I swear to God, there's either like some meth head that's like rolling down her hill, or it's hilarious.
Guys,
I never want to visit
no,
you.
people have come up to me like while I'm outside with like bloody noses, and it's, and I don't even live in a bad area. I really don't. But anyways, okay, so I pay off credit cards. You guys, pay off credit cards. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I allowed myself to get in head over way too much because I accepted this card and then I used it for this and then I accepted this card and whatever. And I got myself back up a lot, like where a couple of my cards were almost maxed out. Like it was ridiculous and it was out of control, and it instantly threw me back to when I was 18 years old and I maxed out 7 credit cards and thought that I was going to have to file bankruptcy before I even met my husband, and thought my life was over, right? Because my credit was so terrible. So that really freaked me out. Plus, see my credit score drop, and I was like, oh my God. So pay off my credit cards. I have $7,100 left and my credit cards are done. That went from like 30 grand at the beginning of this year. Okay. So $7,100 in credit card debt is all I have left. And I'm super proud of myself for that. Pay off all medical bills. We have about $2,000 left in medical bills to pay off, and they'll be empty too. And then like raise our credit score. That's something me and Donnie said that his goal, because I asked him his goal for the end of the year, and it was to stay alive. Just so you know, my husband has huge aspirations here. That's what his goal is, to stay alive. I want to invest in some stuff, because I keep on saying I need to invest, and I haven't. So before I end this year, I will be having some investments of some kind. Team goals, I'm not going to get into those. And my child, to get her driver's license, because I obviously suck at teaching. That's why she doesn't even know how to ride a bike. Like, awful, right? I know, it's awful. But anyway, so those are the kind of things I have on my vision board. And I'm going to tell you each one of those things. Oh, and 365 days of commitment. So every single day I've got to do something. And that's basically what that 365 means. Okay. So that means that I can, take a day where I'm not doing as much stuff, but every day I need to be doing something that has to do with my health, that has to do with my business, that has to do with helping other people achieve their goals. So I just got to show up, basically show up in some way, shape, or form. And that's what I want you guys to encourage. Right now, I'm creating my list for Tuesday, things I need to do. And just to tell you, on that list is go to the gym. On that list is make sure I follow a healthy diet and focus on my water. Send somebody something and send somebody else something that I can't mention. Anyways, as this night goes on, I'm going to keep on adding to the list, and then that's going to add on to my daily task, like posting on the team page, checking the team page. Like, these are things like you need to do too. If you want your business to grow, you need to be checking in, not when your upline tells you to check your team page, but you yourself go in and you check it every day. Today I'm taking a business class, right? Stuff's already sinking in, already paying off. Anyways, I'm taking this business class, and literally one of the things that I was reading today was like, if you intentionally go in, she wants you to go in intentionally at least 3 times a day to check discussions, to check you know, in our group thing, see if there's any assignments, or just even to take a second look at the assignments that you already have. And the reason why she says that is because you're more likely to stay focused and remember what you're aiming for, right? So that is, you know, just a basic rule of business. And I'll tell you guys, have you ever heard the term social entrepreneurship? Social entrepreneurship? Anyways, I hadn't heard what it was, but I had to write some things that I'm interested in business about. And that was it. And it was like the idea of like Bill Gates and like, you know, how basically, or even Facebook actually, you know, whenever they created Facebook is it was all about connecting socially people together. And I was like, man, like that is something I would like to learn more about. And I think that's kind of what I'm getting at here, guys, is like your dream boards are going to ever evolve. So like a couple years ago, Jamie kept on creating vision boards. Okay. For instance, Jamie, I'm just using you as an example. Jamie kept on creating vision boards. She kept on putting the same things on these vision boards. Okay. The same things, but nothing was changing in Jamie's life to help her accelerate to get those things on that vision board. Like she was just in this straight line. She wasn't changing her actions on a daily basis. She wasn't making the sacrifices. No offense, Jamie. I love you. My shit was the same way. I'm just using you as an example here. Okay. But anyways, she wasn't changing her actions on a daily basis. She wasn't making that like, you know what, I've got to get up an hour earlier. I've got to hold myself accountable. Like I've got to invest in this. I've got to do this. I've got to take an extra, you know, whatever it is. I need to make sure I'm reading this book because you guys, you got to prepare your minds, all right, for the obstacles that you're going to need to overcome. There is never, and you will never, ever, 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 there is never a time that you should not be growing the things that you know. Like never. Because there's always going to be an evolution, just like right now with like TikTok. I know you guys are so tired to hear me talk about TikTok, but I'm not looking at TikTok the same way as, oh, let's go over here and like play on this platform and like build this big network and grow a business right now there. What I'm looking at is like, what is causing people to want to check out TikTok? What is that action? And for me, and this is why I bring it over to Facebook, is people need entertainment. And they don't have an attention span to stay longer than 15 to 60 seconds. And that's why TikTok is exploding, because people are just like being stupid. So it's entertaining. And you're like, what the fuck is this person doing? Excuse my language. But you only have to watch 15 to 60 seconds of it. And that's it. And that's done. It's like, I don't know about you guys, but like after like 2 minutes of somebody talking, maybe even me talking, I'm like this. You know, so, I think that that's the thing, is that we each, as we grow in this business, we have to realize like we're going to have to, the bigger that our goals are, for example, like Jamie had a pool on her vision board, right? And she had this pool on her vision board. And I'm going to tell you guys, the reason why these are all so fresh in my memory is because I looked up dream board of my friends and vision board of my friends on Facebook today. And Jamie's pool being pulled into her house in June of 2017 was on there. And it was talking about how it was on her vision board all these years, you know. And you guys, the same kind of stuff was for me. Like I had the vision board, Jamie, what was it? My porch, my back porch. I had it on my vision board for years, guys, but I didn't have the income and I didn't put in the actions or the time devoted, like, cause you have to say, you know what? You want to get this done? Who you calling tomorrow to get that quote? Because until you know the quote, you don't know how much money you need. Just like if you want the car, huh?
I love that, because I don't even love the word dream board, because to me, a dream is just like a dream. It's like, cool, I had a dream.
It's a wish.
It's a wish.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no action steps that are attached to it, then what is the point of having it? So I love, and I mean, I still remember almost every single thing that was on that list. I always wanted to travel to London, England. I wanted to get that pool. But those are great to have. But if you don't have those action steps to get there and break it down, like I am such a visual person that I don't have, like, I've got my dream boards that I clip out of the newspapers or whatever if I actually have time to do that. But I'm a big screenshotter, and my husband Steven is a big Pinterest person. So we dream together because, for example, we moved to this waterfront house. I've always wanted to own a waterfront house. And we're actually talking about putting in another dream pool here because we loved our other one so much. But I need to break things down into those baby pieces because sometimes those dreams, those visions are so big that they're almost unattainable. And I just don't even know how to get there. And so many people, you can relate this to business is, you know, it's great to have that goal to make your first, Katie months to make that first $5,000 paycheck a week. But how do you get there? And like, what does that look like? Because if you don't have that framework to use to get you there, it's just kind of like a hope and a prayer and cross your fingers that you get there. So when Amanda's talking about call that guy and get the information, how much is it going to cost? How many weeks of pay do you have? And break that down every week to what that's going to cost. How many weeks, if you made X amount of money, would it take to get there? Now you've got a goal. Just like if you wanted to hit 4K, that's why we post those daily targets. Those are daily targets for your business, but you also need to run those daily targets for your vision, for your goals, because you know, my goals have completely changed. I hit the Millionaires Club. I got my dream pool. I went to London, England. I hosted my first leadership retreat and second leadership retreat and third leadership retreat. I have done all of those things, but now it's time to revision. But then here I am in a different world, and that vision board had to change a little bit. So now it's realigning what I want those goals to be. And so I really want you guys to make baby visions or dreams, but then also have those big ones and then break those down so that, you know, hey, by the end of the summer, I want to get a new deck on my porch. Like ours is falling apart. Or I want to get new patio furniture that we can enjoy. Or I want to build a fireplace in our yard that we can have all of our friends sit. It doesn't have to be, you know, $100,000 pool or a trip to England. It can be something that maybe you want to buy a motorhome. We just bought a fifth wheel camper that we probably shouldn't have bought, but it was something that brings our family together, and it was a vision of ours to have. So we just went and did it. So break it down, guys.
And you guys, here's the thing. I want you to think like this. So you just started Lavelle, and maybe you joined to replace an income, or you joined because, you know, use Crystal, for example. She lost her job and she really just had no choice. Like she had to make this happen, right? So like, where do you go from there? Once you start working your business, you're committed, you're doing your actions, you're actually reaching out to people on a regular basis, you're plugging into Zooms, you're filling your mind, you're all these things. Where do you go from, like, where do you go from there? Here's the kind of stuff that like I was looking at. I was like, okay, if I made X, Y, and Z amount, I don't have to return back to work. Like I don't have to go back, and like I can stay casual, or, you know, whatever it might be, right? So you set a number and you fight for that goal. What is it going to take to get there? And you break it down, VIP 800s, you know, your own personal customers, going 4K. Kaylee's like going for 200K. Guess what? Kaylee cannot get to 200K without 80Ks, 40Ks, 12Ks, 4Ks, VIP 800s, VIP 1600s, her team thriving for free. Like that stuff can't happen, right? But it all has to align. It literally, guys, it has to align in a matter of everybody coming together. And I'm going to tell you something. Every single person, you can't hit those ranks or any type of big goals as a team if you aren't humbled along the way. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Kaylee has had those setbacks and the fight back. And I want you guys to realize that, because that's what's going to build you up in this process. Is sometimes you're going to get smacked down. We have lots of people that hit 80K on this team, 200K on this team, and they didn't get back to it until this year, you know, because there was double volume a couple years ago. You guys, listen, anybody that made it from 2018 to this summer right now, like we're not even in summer, but that's that affirmation there that we're in summer. Okay. But anybody that made it from 2018 and they're still here right now, I want to give you a high five, because that double QV really messed with people's heads. Okay. People hit ranks and then they dropped, and it was a lot of us building ourselves back up. Right. I think that really smacked some people down. So I want to bravo you. And for those of you guys that don't know what I'm talking about, just be thankful. Just be thankful you don't know, because it's true. So you can say, example, you don't have money at Christmas time. Every year you have to sign up for a list for, like Salvation Army or Christian Help or something to help with your kids' Christmas every year. And that's all you've ever known. Maybe that's the way you've grown up, and you don't want to do that anymore. In fact, this year you want to do an angel tree. So I want you to set a number of what that would look like for you. How much money do you need to save between now and Christmas for you and your family to have the comfortable Christmas, one that you've never imagined being able to give your children? And, maybe you don't even have a Christmas tree. Like Paul Gravett says, how many times, I know people on here have heard him say this, but I want you to get a picture of a Christmas tree, and I want you to imagine that a beautiful Christmas and your family gathering around that tree and all the things. And it's not about the presents. And for anybody that thinks it needs to be about the presents, truly needs to go do some personal development, because that's not what this is about. This is about being able to just envision something, and then you put your foot in front of each other every day to aim and fight for that goal. So for me, a few years ago, somebody said they paid off like 10 layaways or something crazy. It was like a lot of layaways. And it was when I was in my first company, and that inspired me that I wanted to pay off layaways, that I wanted to go and do angel trees. I wanted to give back and do those things. So that was something I put on my vision board. And you guys, I did it. Okay. I don't have to broadcast those things, but I'm telling you so that you understand this kind of example. Same thing for you now. You struggle to get your kids school clothes every year. And you right now know that in 5 months from now, or 4 months, however
Kids
many
still aren't going back to school.
if they ever go back to school, they better go back to school, because it's my daughter's senior year, so they better go back to school. But I think they'll get pulled back out though. Anyways, but how much money would you need to save for them to be able to get, some new jeans, a new jacket, the basic things, their school supplies, all of this stuff. This is when you prepare now. It's like a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, okay? I was one of those people who was going, guys, and I want you to understand that. I tell this a lot, but just in case you've never heard it, I was that person that was digging for change in my couch, or I would run to the bank real quick and I would hurry up and take $50 out. Then I'd hurry up and run to the gas station because I knew that it hadn't hit yet, or maybe it was the gas station, then the bank. I can't remember. But anyways, I would fill my tank up and then I would go pull the money out of the bank because I knew it hadn't hit yet. And I knew that I was going to end up with an overdraft fee, but it was the only way that I was going to be able to get gas to go back and forth to work all week long, right? So I was that person. How can we change from being that person to somebody that's getting ahead? Well, we have to start figuring out, what do we need to replace these things? So instead of me overdrafting or whatever back then, I could have been part of this company. Well, no, because it didn't exist, but example, and I could have aimed to have that $50 a week for my pay to go into my gas tank. You see where I'm going here, right? Like, you don't have enough gas, you end up, overdrafting your car your card or your bank account every week because you need the essentials. Okay, so aim for $50 or $25 a week for your pay at first, right? And then you're going to start increasing your actions. Like, okay, wait, I see Crystal just started and she's blowing it up. What's Crystal doing? Well, I can tell you, Crystal's been on every single Zoom since she started, okay, because I see her and I always end up calling her out because I see her every time, and that's why I talk about her so much, because when I see you nonstop, it happens. It's a good thing. But she also hit, ranks, all right? She's pushing, she's showing up. If you go look at her post, she's being vulnerable. I could tell you more about Crystal than I can tell you about half of you all. Like, no offense, it's nothing about you guys. It's the fact that she's just shared. She's put it out there. She's not just sharing like memes and quotes and other people's posts. Like, she's putting her real, raw, behind the scenes stuff out there. And that's what people attach to. I'm not saying you got to tell everybody all your problems, but if you don't tell people like the things that you like. It's like Stacy teaching her 5 things. The reality of it is, guys, people are going to start unfollowing you if all you ever post about is thrive, or all you ever post about are things that you're sharing, or, you know, whatever. People need to be able to relate to you. They need conversation starters. They need things that they can give their opinion about. Like, how many of you guys comment on things that you get to give your opinion about, especially if it's something that, like, you know, if you could have a I mean, I've seen this a whole bunch of times. Please don't go use this post because it probably won't even be seen on Facebook because it was like an old school, like a couple years ago. But if you could have a maid, a cook, you know, a babysitter or something else, like, which one would you choose? Like, people want to give their opinions. Just like right now, you could say, this is really controversial, but should people be wearing masks? Nobody fight. And then put that below it because that's a Stacy move. Nobody be disrespectful. And you know what? I learned that from Stacy. And people don't get nasty. And if they do, they get fucking blocked. Excuse my language again. I'm sorry. But it's true.
Talk about, hey, does anybody else feed their kids like what feels like 100 times a day?
Oh yeah.
At home?
Yeah.
People will love to talk about that. I love that. Stacy's the best at posting engaging stuff. But people want to talk about themselves. How about you include your dream board or your vision board stuff?
Yep.
Hey, are you guys big believers in like you visualize things and they come true? Like, what are some things that are on your vision board? Or talk about, post about what your 60-day vision is, what your goal is for 60 days and what you're going to do, and hold yourself accountable and ask people what their goals are for the end of the summer. I'm such a big believer in those small attainable things. And then the 6-month one. So like maybe the 60-day ones, or a 30-day one. That's like a small push, because I have the attention span of my sandal and I like rewards like yesterday. So if I work hard enough, I know that 30 days I can stick with something long enough to make sure that I get it. And then what about those 6-month ones? 6 months is the end of the year. We're going to go into 2021. So what do you want your end of the year to look like?
Yeah. And so, you know, and even further than that, guys, you could even add in like your 5-year, your 3 and 5-year goals and so forth. Right. And that's going to keep you on track on the days that you get really, really just, you know, there's different things, you know, that people can be working towards. I know Nikki's been working on a really big goal. And, you know, we were talking about like the stimulus check. She was like, oh no, that goes right towards that. And I was like, yeah, see, that works out good. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know what, the thing, guys, is that if you continually pretend like, you know, the amount of money, listen, if you're bad with money, please listen to me right now. If you are bad with money, you need to get that shit under control. Okay? Because I have been very bad with money over my lifetime. Very bad with money. And I saw myself starting to fall into bad habits again. And that's why I'm trying to pay off as much stuff as possible. Cause I'm like, yeah, I don't want to end up with that. Especially when all this hit, I was like, yo, I gotta like get aggressive with this. You need to start putting money aside and giving it to somebody that you trust. Putting it in a safe deposit box where you can't touch it, where you can't go and withdraw or hit the button for it to transfer over to your checking account. Like, I, honest to goodness, guys, I think I'm going to go and get a bank account at a second bank so I can't transfer it from my internal bank, like, and I can't transfer to each other, just so, and not have a card for that other bank, because that I need that kind of discipline. I need that kind of discipline. So yeah, so you definitely, leaving it in Payoneer. I know Ashley was talking about that last week. Like, she hadn't cashed her last like 3 or 4 checks in. You know, guys, all of these type of things are going to be beneficial for you in many ways. You know, maybe even so that you can give back to your customers or your promoters or whatever it might be. Setting that stuff aside, maybe right now, one of your goals is to be able to give back to your customers more. So how can you make that real? Well, you divvy out what it is that you would need. So you know what, on your non-auto ship weeks, everything that you worked your butt off for, all of those that entire paycheck goes towards your customers. Like, you just go ahead and flip it over to credits. Whatever that non-auto ship week paycheck is, you flip it over to credits. And that can be huge, unless your check gets bigger, and then you might say, you know what, that non-auto ship week is going to be going towards what the promos are going to be for the remainder of the month for my team. And that's a lot of times what I do is I divvy out on my non-auto ship weeks, because those checks are always going to be lower. That normally is where I figure out like incentives, gifts, or money that I'm going to use for a retreat, or something along those lines, that, you know, a dinner or whatever. It goes into like my team thing that we do. And that it's worked for me from the beginning of time. And so anyways, that's just another example. So another type of dream board that I've seen people do is putting it on their computer screen. We said putting it on your phone, a paper dream board. You could even have a Pinterest dream board. The only downfall with the Pinterest dream board is that it's not in your face every day. And I'll be honest with you guys, when you don't look at something or you don't see something, it leaves your mind. See, Paul Gravett did a couple months ago. And I think it was maybe after his mom passed away. Okay. He did a Facebook post, or maybe it was a call. I can't remember, but he said, you need to make your background on your phone or whatever, right? Like my background, I'll just show you, is my dad and my girls. And that was the first or the last time my dad was at his apartment. And it just makes me smile, and also gets me like a little choked up. And he said that your background on your phone should always do that too. That it should always remind you of something that you love or something that you want to accomplish, or it should always evoke an emotion in you. So like, think about that. Like your kids, they make you happy. Like, so if your kids are your background, great. Okay. But make it something that is literally going to make you just, you know, create an emotion. And for me, it's like, that's symbolic for me. And it reminds me of so many things, why I want my time, why I, you know, was a nurse, and a promise I made to him that I would always be a nurse. And, you know, us just having that time together because I was able to pay for an apartment for him to live right down the road from me along the water. And that was something that he always enjoyed. So it's like all these different things that, you know, my dad was on my dream board, guys. For me to be able to move my dad to where I live, that was many years ago. And I just imagine now, like, what if I would have kept on making excuses of why I couldn't make that happen? Instead, I called when I pulled into this apartment. I pulled into the gas station one day, guys, and I look over and there is literally an apartment right beside. So I had to take the actions to call the landlord to find out how much the apartment was, talk to my husband, take the actions to figure out how much the rent was going to be, figure out how much the utilities were going to be, because I wanted more than anything. I wasn't rich, but I wanted more than anything to be able to bring my dad so that he could get to know my girls. You guys, literally a year and a half later, my dad died. But I got him in that apartment, and we got to have an entire year together. So anyways, so I want you guys to understand, like, your vision boards and you actually taking action to get there, like, it is so critical. Like, I can't even tell you, because you can run in circles just trying to say, oh, I just want to make more money. I'm going to tell you something about money. Money comes and goes. Okay? Money comes and goes. And if you think for one moment that money is going to be your motivation, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. Because you ever hear that thing? Some people say it. When people say it, I used to say it too. But I don't believe it now. The money's the root of all evil. I don't think that anymore, but I used to think that because I was taught that money makes people be greedy. No, money in the wrong hands makes greedy people. Money in the right hands blesses a lot of people. Okay. So you get to choose though, which person you're going to be and what it is that you're going to do. Just like last night's call. I think it was Amanda Campos that said it. You get to choose, you guys. You get to choose. Are you going to allow the fact of, she said like her dad died when she was like 6 months old. Her mom was murdered. Like she was raised by her grandparents and, by all, by statistics or by whatever people thought, she didn't want to be that person. Right? And just like me, I didn't want to be a certain person. I didn't want to be a person that people thought that I was going to be. I wanted to blow people's minds. I wanted to blow people's minds. And I just kept on going after whatever it was. Whatever it was. Just like right now, like I don't really care what people think. Like I'm back in school. I make really good money. Some people would think, why are you going back to school? Well, because I didn't finish something. And I like to finish what the hell I start. And that is why I'm finishing school. Because I don't like to leave something incomplete. I like to know that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it right. And I want you guys to realize, like, you don't ever have to stop. Like, you don't ever have to stop, like, dreaming. Ever. Like, for me, it's like, now I'm like, man, like, pay my kids' school tuition. Like, that's going to be on my dream board next year. Like, I'm going to have her tuition paid in full. Like, and then preparing Leah and getting that next step. Like, it's always going to keep on growing. It's always going to keep on growing. So enough about my vision board and my suggestions for your vision board. I want to hear, Pekka put her camera on. I want to hear somebody that has dream board that has been in, hold on. We're going to do it a couple different ways. Kaylee, you have a dream board?
I have Post-it notes stuck to a board.
That's okay. Listen, that's another example.
So,
that is another example. She has Post-it notes stuck to a board. So when you achieve those Post-it notes, they come down. Okay? There you go. So you don't get be all fancy like people make.
I am not creative either. So
yeah. So like you don't have to, you just have to be intentional with it, right? And that's the thing is like we have to just stay intentional with it, right? So and I guarantee you, Kaylee, can you name like just a couple things that are on that vision board?
oh gosh. So redoing our bathroom was one because we have been here in this house for 2 years and still did not do it. Guess what? That got to come off.
I was going to say, yep. So that's been happening this week. Mm-hmm.
Another one was building our credit because let me tell you what, I used to be the same way with money, guys. And guess what? I would transfer it from my savings. Finally, we did some adulting and got a safe deposit box. And guess what? Just this month, we were able to save, like, I hate giving amounts, but like with just budgeting and doing it, we were able to put 10 grand in there. Like literally sitting in my house in a safe deposit box because we are not touching money. So it works, I promise. And so that was one, to have a savings, like not to touch. Literally
emergency fund.
To have for emergencies. Another one was to build credit. I had one thing left on Andrew's credit report. Guess what? Pay it off. You don't have to go crazy and pay, like a lot of people like pay people. You can do it yourself. Totally do it yourself. That was another one. Another one is I didn't put this up yet, but I want to we do like a family vacation every year, like a week, someplace different. But guess what? I haven't brought my kids to Disney World, and I would love to do that. I'm just waiting for them to get older. That's not going up there yet because I want them to enjoy it. And so we're waiting for
And
that.
you know
But
what? You said something there. You said something there. And I want you guys to understand the psychological background of understanding this. She said she wants her kids to get older, okay? And she wants to take them to Disney, but she's not putting that up there now. And why would she not put that up there now? The reason why she wouldn't put that up there now is if she did, she would need to put it like far in advance, okay? Because it'd be like a stepping stone. And so her mind didn't think that she was constantly not achieving something. Because when we put stuff out there and we constantly never get to mark it off, our mind starts to play tricks on us, and our mind starts to make us think like this is never going to happen, and then people give up and they throw in the towel. So you want to make sure that you're putting up stuff that you're literally willing to work on right now. Like, don't be putting stuff on your vision board that you're not willing to get your ass. Like, if you say you want to lose 100 pounds, I did that last year, by the way, guys. I put that on my vision board that I wanted to lose 100 pounds. And I didn't lose the 100 pounds in a year, but I came darn close, and then I lost it right after the beginning of the year. So I want you to think, like, if you're not willing to watch your diet, get out and exercise and do it, don't put that 100 pounds, okay? Don't put that on there. But if you're willing to start working your way towards it, you know, like Kaylee, when her kids get a little bit older, she'll be putting that.
I mean, I'm not somebody who gets discouraged with stuff like that. But it's not necessary to be up there right now. So, you know, another one is paying our car off, paying an extra every month. So it's things that as a family, but then I also have my business things. So I have like a personally enrolled 80K, you know, 4 people hitting 12K, like, and I have them. So I'm constantly looking, and I constantly know, all right, this is why I'm doing this. All right, I don't feel like it today. Well, guess what? Yes, I need to do this today. So that's what it's for. And it feels so good. Just like with lists, you know, doesn't it feel amazing when you finally like check something off?
Yeah. And that's kind of like the idea of, if you guys never heard of the term 6 list, I'm telling you, like, there is something psychologically about just accomplishing that list and being able to mark every single thing off each day. That's kind of like your vision board daily. And like, even just try 6 things. Don't even try to overdo it. Okay. Cause I'm a very impulsive person, guys. And I go from like 0 to 100, like in a matter of seconds. So I have to be very, like, I don't know how to do something just a little. And so therefore stuff gets complicated very, very quickly with me. You know, my daughter said it to me earlier today. She was like, why do you have to go from like nothing to like all over the place? You know? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just how I am. And it was about my schoolwork, because she was like, Mom, your stuff's not even due till Friday. Like, why do you have to complete it all today? And I was like, I don't know. I guess I don't have to complete that today. I can finish it tomorrow. And she was just like, yeah, why don't you do that? And it's just because it's just who I am. And I have to have Stacy yell at me look, I didn't even see she was making the laughy face at me, because she has to like message me sometimes and be like, Amanda, what the hell are you doing? You know, are you sure you meant to do that? Because you know, I get myself in trouble. Another
thing, Amanda, is incorporating your family. Like, my kids love doing it together. And you know what? It's something that, you know, everybody knows the goals you're working towards. So, you know, if I'm in here on a Zoom and I'm like, okay, you can't bug me for like an hour, let me be. They get it, because you talk about, okay, well, you know,
we're going to go on our vacation
this summer. They're used to this. They've been with me, you know, I've been doing this for almost 7 years. So like, they get it now, but in the beginning, like when Andrew wasn't around, it was just me with my last company. Like, it's hard. It's hard being a single mom and with the kids. And guess what? We had to talk a lot about that stuff. But it's amazing when you incorporate them, because then you get to see, like, have them make one with you.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that too, especially if you have a spouse that maybe isn't the most supportive. Get them involved with it. Get them involved in what you're working towards and why you're working towards it and what it's going to mean for your family, and like, what does he want to accomplish, and, you know, all these different things. And you're going to, that way you can say, you know what, I have to work an hour a day. You set that up. Like, that's on your vision board. Now you've made that commitment to your family. And you said, listen, every day I have to commit to at least an hour where I'm working towards these visions, you guys. And that hour of intention doesn't have to be all in one time. It can be 15-minute intervals. I'm going to take 15 minutes and I'm going to go and apply some actions, but you better get good and organized at what it is that you're going to go and apply, and instead of just scrolling and things like that, because that's not going to get you very far. Okay. And these you guys that have like really, really young kids, God bless you. Leah was 2 when I started this industry. And let me just tell you, Leah is not an easy child to entertain. She is now. That's probably going to call for a Leah come out here and stick her face in my Zoom. But it wasn't, at first. So, okay. Who? Oh, I see Wyatt. Oh, he's falling asleep on her lap. You guys, God bless it. Oh, goodness gracious, girl. You're going to get me in tears. Okay, let's see who Crystal. I'll just call you since you're just like right here in my face. You got a vision board? You do?
I do. It's not like really
okay.
big or huge or anything, but
Crystal, you've been like in the business, like I can sneeze. So, I mean, the fact that you have one is progress. I probably didn't make one my whole first year, I did, but probably nothing like it was like realistic or anything. So what kind of stuff do you have on your vision board for this
well,
year?
I will say this first. When I worked in the previous company there for a short term, I had a big dream board. And it's funny because Kaylee sent it to me from one of her memories. And I literally knocked off everything but one on that dream board. Not within a company or anything, but I just did it in life. And I didn't realize it until she sent it to me. And it literally made me cry because those things seemed so unattainable at the time. And then she sent that to me and I could not believe I checked everything off there except for taking my son to Disney World as well. So as soon as I seen that is when I basically made a new dream board because I was like, holy shit, it actually happened. I wrote it down and I did it. So I got some new ones, they're a little bit of repeats. I want to get us out of credit card debt. I want to fix my teeth. That's been a really huge thing, and it's really.
Crystal, that was on mine. That was on my vision board too. I had really, really, not that I had terrible like hygiene or anything, but like I didn't go to the dentist when I was a kid. Like my parents just didn't take me. So when I was pregnant, like with Layla, it's when I was in school, I started like working towards that. But anyways, since like, over the years, I've had all my cavities fixed. Like, I mean, that sounds like a ridiculous like thing, but like I had like 20 cavities. Like I had like 20 cavities. I had to have, I just had a crown placed on my tooth. Like, I don't know, like a couple months ago or something. I don't know. It was like this past summer or fall. I don't know. But anyways, that is a very and start working on that, like just chipping it away, going at the dentist like here and there.
And I definitely did. I started about 2 years ago and it's a long, expensive process, and, I finally got them to where they're healthy. So now my goal is cosmetic.
Yep.
I want them to be straight and pretty and white. So that's on my dream board. I also have, an emergency fund. I want to get my husband a new truck. He bought me a new car as my engagement ring when we got engaged. So I really want to give that back to him. And Pretty Smile, I got 200K on there. I'm sorry, it's on there. I need to see it.
Nope. I love it. I love it. And the fact that you're already ambitious enough to know that listen, and I'm going to tell you guys that too. That's the next thing I'm going to say. So even though, like I said, like, ooh, unless you're planning on like putting in the actions right now to like get to where you want to get to, here's the thing. Crystal's already doing that. All right. She already is. But I also want to say this. When you make that decision that you're going to do something, everything changes. You start intentionally working towards, a lot of people don't start intentionally working toward that, but you literally putting that on your vision board, I guarantee you right now, not everybody has 200K on their vision board. They just have whatever the next rank is that they want to achieve. And it's a big mistake, because you should have the ladder of wherever your destination should lead. So like, you want 200K? Okay, great. I need to get to 12K first, or you're 40K first, and then 80K. And what's that going to look like? And what am I going to have to do to make that happen, right? And we know that if you want to go 12K, 40K, all those things, then you need to start doing Zooms. You need to start doing events for your team. You need to start getting like, leading it, all these different things that you're already doing. Like, you're already doing those things, but that's the things, like, that stuff evolves. And Amanda Campos said last night, is she ready for a 200K team right now? Could she do it? Yeah. But is she ready for it yet? Like, she's going to get there. She's going to get there, and she's on the right path to get there. She's plugging in, her heart's there. She's, all about her team. Her focus is, her team knows that she's all about her team. Just like my team better know I'm all about my team, right? So your team should always know that you're all about them, and that you're there for them. I had a girl this morning message me, and she's probably on here right now because she plugs into everything. And she said, I know this might sound a little bit odd, but I'd really like to learn more from you. Can we set up a Zoom? Yeah, we can. You just went 12K, 40, about to go 40K, and just brought on your first 2 12Ks, and you just hit the serious button. You bet your ass we can get on a Zoom, and you can drill my brain all you want to and ask all you want, because you're getting on the Zooms, you're plugging in, you're showing up, you're doing the work, all these things. I would do that for anybody. I mean, obviously I can't sit on 20 million Zooms every day, but the reality of it is, it made me realize, I bet there's other people that would want to do that. I bet you there are other people that would just like to get on and pick your brain. And I tell you what, I think we should start doing some of those pick your brain Zooms, and people that are hungry, and not just get on here and me say, anybody got any questions? No, you come with a list and bring it, man. Where are your obstacles? How can we help you? And these things are going to help create a guidance for you guys to reach every single one of those goals. Crystal, like I said, I mean, you could just like run the Zoom, because truly, like, I knew that you were going to say, I had a feeling you were going to say 200K. There's a lot of you guys on here right now that I will see at 200K. A lot of you on here right now. You just have to build up that confidence that you're going to be there. Because I believe it. I know it. And I just seen one of you smile at me and now looking down at your phone, because it was something we just recently talked about. Yep. And I'm happy to see you here, by the way. And you know who I'm talking to. But the thing is, guys, is the reality of it is that we just have to believe it, and we have to know that, like, we have the support and that we can do it. And as long as you keep on focused, you're going to achieve those things. You're going to reach them out. And like I said, I love the fact that you have something on there too about, yourself, your teeth. And that is such a, LASIX used to be something I wanted to get until I realized, like, I'm not a candidate for LASIX. So I have like terrible cornea crap on my eyes, scratches and tears. So I'm not ideal. Well, maybe I am today, but I wasn't a few years back. But anyways, okay, who else wants to give? You're hungry and struggling to share. That's going to definitely have to get into a thing, because here's the thing. I can't make you share. You have to start doing it. I can give you advice and tips and things like that, but you guys have to be the ones to reach out to people. You have to be the ones to post. You have to be the ones willing to learn and start to follow people that inspire you, that are putting out good posts, good content, and taking what it is that they're doing and then putting it and formatting it to you. So, like, for a good example is Kaylee. Kaylee knows that a strong area for her is not words. So what does Kaylee do to get around that? Kaylee goes through, and when she sees something that inspires her, she saves the post. And she saves the post, and then she reposts it later. And she will grab it, and when she reposts it later, it is a post that is relevant to her life and where she's at and what she's going through. So it all comes together, and you would never know that Kaylee didn't even actually write all of those words. Guys, that's every post of Kaylee's. Like,
Amanda,
this is
I want to
something.
add something because somebody, I'm not gonna say names or anything. Somebody sent me in the chat about how they pretty much said that they've been watching my posts, living a life of dream building, and that I'm goals truly, and that you're able to share and build and make it look so effortless. I want you guys to know it's because I've been through all those parts and I kept going. And that's what I responded back with. And, you know, I posted a post in my story today, something about that. Actually, I'm going to read it to you because it's that good. It says, I show my scars so that others may know that they can heal. Guys, I've been through it all. A lot of you don't even know my entire story because I share bits and pieces and when I need to, and on Zooms like this. Guess what? I don't necessarily want the world knowing all my crappy business, but they will know that I am humbled because I've been through. I've had my power shut off. I've had my car repossessed. We couldn't afford rent. We've had to borrow money. We've been through all the things, super, super hard things that, you know, in the end and in that moment, you don't think you can get through, but that's why it's so important to have this family that can relate. That's why it's so important to keep in mind what you're going for, to have the dream board. I knew that this too shall pass any time that I went through a hard, no matter how bad it was and how defeated I felt. And that was a lot, guys. And it wasn't literally until I would say this year, last year-ish, this year, that my life is honestly where I want it to be. It takes time, and you gotta just keep going, and your why has to be so strong. Like if you do not cry thinking about it, you need to think of something that literally brings you to tears when you think about it, because otherwise you're not going to get through those hard days. And you have the most incredible leadership here. Amanda, Jamie, Lisa, like everybody is so amazing and they're all here. So just literally lean in, stay plugged in, do your personal development or whatever you need. I'm not a huge person that just reads books or whatever. I that doesn't do anything for me. You want to know what does something for me? Going in a car ride, blasting my music and jamming out.
Just don't go on a car ride with Jamie Pecca and blast her music, because that gets kind of naughty real quick. Okay, just saying, it really does. But you know, Kaylee, I want to say this while you're saying that. I also want you guys to know this. You do not need to be Miss Queen of Facebook. You do not need to be Miss Queen of Instagram. You don't need to be Miss Perfect in your stories. You don't need to be like a TikTok queen. You don't need to be drop dead freaking gorgeous with perfect pictures. You don't need to have a perfect house. You don't need to have kids that don't have dirt in their fingernails sometimes, because my kid does. So, you know, it is what it is. Oh, she heard me. But for real, like I even admit sometimes, like I don't even know when my kid had a bath last, like during this quarantine. Like there were times where there were multiple days and I was like, ooh, that's terrible of me. But I want you to know, okay, go away. Say she didn't like that. But when you see a post that inspires you, I want to show you guys this, because you might not know, because people always hit F underneath of posts when you could just follow the post. So anyways, at the top of all posts on Facebook, there are these little dots that you can click and you can hit save post. Where do those saved posts go? Well, when you hit your menu button on Facebook, there is a saved tab. Okay, you see that tab right there? When you click it, you can create collections. Okay, guess what? You can create collections. Some of my collections are VIP posts, team page posts, coaching posts, meaning things that I've learned that inspired me, stuff that taught me something along the way that I want to go back and reference, maybe share with my team, videos to watch. Because maybe I don't have time to watch this right now, but somebody posted it and I know I need to watch it. Favorites. I also have saved quotes as well. And funny enough, one of the quotes that I have is from Miss Kaylee Crew and her beautiful self.
And this saves so much time, guys. I used to sit there and think of a post to make and want it to be perfect. No, just literally, I find people that inspire me, and honestly, some are from our team. As far as saved posts, if I see something that speaks to me, just save it, and then I'll sometimes go back all the way through people's and saving. Like one day I'll pick and I'll go through and just save a bunch of things, and then instantly when I'm thinking of a post, I'll go through, try to find something that I'm feeling in that moment that, and they sound like me. They sound like something I would say. Don't, post things that aren't going to sound like you and your personality. If you are someone who's not vulgar on Facebook, you're probably not going to want to post or share a vulgar post as far as, you know what I mean?
Don't follow Jamie Pecca and myself.
If it's not coming from you. So, that's one of the biggest tips with doing that, but it has saved so much time, and it's still genuine. Like, it's not like I'm copying somebody's story. It's a matter of they're saying exactly what I want to say.
Yeah, but here's the thing too, is that I guess really what I wanted to get out of everybody knowing all of these things is that you don't have to be perfect. Like, you can take things that you learn from other people and make them your own. And that is how you're going to learn. You're going to continuously evolve, because listen, Kaylee's story is not Crystal's story. Crystal's story is not Brittany Green's story, or Brittany O'Neill's story, or Jamie's story, or Sam's story, or Stacy's story, or Nikki's story, or Felicia's story. Like, none of our stories are the same. However, we can all utilize certain things that we've seen other people do along the way. Like, for instance, you guys, like, truly, we have the ability to like accomplish anything. I was telling Shannon whenever she first started making her earrings, I was like, listen, you need to make a page. Like, you need to go do like, because I was like, man, like, you can do like such a big thing with this, right? And it's like, I gotta calm Amanda down, because I get all excited, because I'm like, oh man, I can see such a direction of where things can go and stuff like that. And like, here's the thing, guys, is like, we all have our own special talents. My special talent, you want to know what it is? I'm not great at taking pictures. I am not in the best shape of my life, but I care about people. And my friends from like childhood know that I get out of here, kid. Okay, how can I get rid of that? But my friends from childhood know me as always being a person that wants to help, a person that wants to be there and that is nice and that it will support you and cheer you on. And I don't have to be like, I used to think that because you hear the word in this industry, your niche a lot. And I overthought those things way too much over the years. And you guys, my superpower truly is just being who I am and not caring. That's when I'm doing the best that I can, is whenever I am just being me and trying to, I like to make people laugh. I like to let people know that I'm thinking of them or that I care about them. I suck at gifts, but I've been hitting the nail a couple times lately. But like, the thing is that I want you guys to know, like, as you're thinking of your vision board, as you're thinking of things that you want to accomplish, I want you to give yourself some slack on the things that you don't know because you haven't been through yet. The reality of it is that you're not going to know how to get through certain storms until you face them. Like, I had a 200K leader leave. I had 2 80K leaders leave, multiple 40K leaders leave over the years. And you want to know what? We just had our first millionaire that came up from underneath of that one 200K leader that left. The reality of it is like, I could have And it beat me down for a while. It beat me down, made me psychologically think like I wasn't a good leader if all these people were leaving. But man, our team has just gotten stronger. It's just gotten stronger because we've been knocked down, we've been knocked down. And I want you guys to know that, like, you're going to have to go through some hard crap. You're going to have to fail a little bit. You're probably going to lose a rank sometime along the way. You're probably going to have really asshole promoters sometimes that you just, are not nice. And same for customers. Customer is not always right. You're going to come against people that are just, here's the thing. You get to choose who you work with. At the end of the day, you get to choose who you work with. And anybody that puts you in a weird place, you just cut them out. It's not worth it. No amount of money in the world is worth you being treated like shit. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. And I want to encourage each one of you guys to make your vision boards, create a pathway. And that pathway, if it has to do with you growing in this business or reaching a goal, like where you're chopping off a big, claim, and you're using this as your pathway, then you need to create an action list of daily tasks that you need to do daily. And like I told Jessica Curtright the other night, and we're going to wrap this up, so I promise I'm going to shut up here in about 2 seconds. I told Jessica Curtright the other night, 2 of the most important things that you can do on a daily basis, if these are at the bottom of your list, they need to be moved to the top of your list, okay, is grow your network, okay, and build relationships. Grow your network and build relationships. Like, those are my priority. Every day, I'm like, who can I get in front of, and how can I make them connect with me? How can we connect? Okay. And I promise you guys, if you do those things, you're constantly going to be in new eyes. You're constantly going to be set. But listen, you can't slack on your products. Do you know how many posts today I got, or messages today I got? Did 2 Black Labels really help you? What's that Black Label? And it was simply just, go look at my post from this morning. It wasn't a salesy post, but people know that I thrive. And people know I take product. People know that I am all about getting my health. See, now listen, that's another thing. Those of you guys that aren't thriving for free, are you talking about why you're thriving on a regular? I'm not talking about sharing a post from the little fan page. I'm not talking about posting a picture of your 3 steps. Are you talking about, like, are you living the life about drinking more water and, maybe going for a walk or whatever it might be? You don't have to be physically fit, okay? But working on bettering your health, especially right now, is something that you're going to instantly start attracting people that also want to better their health. You see where I'm going with this? So if you attract people, what is your target market? People that want to get healthy. People that want to take better care of themselves. If you yourself are taking better care of yourself, and you yourself are trying to get healthier, living a healthier lifestyle during 75 hard or whatever it might be, getting sober, going for walks, getting outside, hiking with your family, these are things that are all going to attract people to you and your products, what you have to offer. So get out there and start talking about that. You're going for a hike, go post it. You're going to take your dogs for a walk, go post it. These simple things are going to start attracting people to you. And this is where you could go post in a group. Say you're in a group, you're in a doggy group. Say you're in a doggy group. I know we got a couple doggy moms, Felicia and Brittany Hyder. You're both big doggy moms, okay? And you guys are all about your dogs. Like, you guys, anyways, both of these ladies are like big, big dog people, right? So you guys could be in a group and you go for a walk and you're taking your dogs for a walk. You've got them on a leash. Your Black Label's down there. Got it. You don't even have to say anything about the Black Label, but you post that on the page, asking for tips, asking for some kind of feedback from the people on the doggy page, okay, on how to get your dog to listen better, or I don't know, like, my dogs all want to hump each other right now because they all need fixed. All 4 of the son of a guns need fixed, okay? And you know, the 2 are only 1. The other one I just adopted. He's 4. And then my other one, we should have had him fixed like 6 years ago. But anyways, you could ask about that. Like, how many people have had this issue? Like, what do you do? Whatever. I mean, I don't know. You can think of like different stuff that you could post. But my point is, people are still going to see that Black Label, and somebody's going to ask you. Somebody's going to ask you. You take it right to Messenger and you have that conversation. You talk to them, right? So, yes, Latoya, I see you message me over there. I didn't see it. I'm really, really sorry. I haven't been like on my phone a lot today, but I will message you after this soon. So anyways, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Is there anybody that has a dying thing that they want to ask before we close it out tonight? Oh, yes, Kaylee, we are going to go ahead. It's totally up to you if you want to tell them. If not, it can remain a surprise. Yes? Okay, cool. So Kaylee, go ahead. I'm just going to shut up and then you can just close it out.
Okay. So, I am close with Courtney Glacier and I just love her. She is one of the people who literally pumps me the hell up. And when I need like an ass kicking, I talk to her because it has nothing to do with anything. Not a downline. I don't have to stress my upline out. Like, that's it. And she brings fire. I literally feel like I'm on top of the world after I listen to her. So she reached out to me today and we were talking about, she's like, you're definitely going 200K, blah, blah, blah. And we were going on, well, she's like, is there anything that I can do to help? Because I just love you, all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I love listening to you talk and you pump me up. So I know that you could pump everyone else up. So want to do a Zoom? So she is going to do our next Motivational Monday Zoom. So I'm pumped because our last one, I literally watch the replay all the time. All the time. So, definitely get your teams on because she brings it and is super inspiring, super motivating, and she's been through some stuff and she gives it to, like, one of my not strong suits is tough love. I have to get like really upset to do it. And like, that's one thing I admire about like Jamie, Amanda, her, and I think that's why I cling on to those people because they have a little bit of something that I don't have. So that I wish I could be more like that. So yeah, definitely be on next week and get all of your teams on.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge one, you guys. And also, I was looking at the date. It falls on the 25th. So that means it's after the last auto ships that ran. So anything that you accomplish, like finishing out the month, is going to be new volume from you and your team closing it out. So it'll be great for you to not only get yourself on, but get your promoters on. I can tell you right now, Courtney is not going to sugarcoat shit. She is going to be very open, very real with you. She's going to get straight to it. Her team is they're growing at such a rapid pace right now. And it's not going to slow down because they've got that momentum happening. And I want to see that happen for all of you guys. And it can happen. And you guys, listen, I want you to understand this. In a lot of companies, January, February, March, April are like the busy months. In Lavelle, I'm going to tell you this. This has been the case every year since I have joined Lavelle. It's May, June, July. May, June, July, because our conference has always been in April and it's not changing. I mean, we're already almost at where we finished last month right now. Like we're almost like my volume is almost at where we finished at for the entire month. Like, and we still have a lot of days left. So we're going to have a record-breaking month, okay? I want each one of you guys to have a record-breaking month for yourself personally. And listen, maybe you had some slide backs. That's okay. We're not talking about where you were. We're talking about where you're going, okay? So let's focus forward. And I'm going to be setting up some of those Zooms. Oopsie, what did I do? I closed my screen and anyways, I don't know where everybody is. Oh, there you are. Okay. I'm going to set up some Zooms. I've got a lot on my plate this week though, so I'm not really entirely positive how many of those will be up. But some question answers, things that people need help with, we'll have to set up some stuff for that. So anyways, I love you guys. get a list ready for yourself, get a vision board ready for yourself, get a plan in place, get ready for some action, show up next Monday because that Zoom's going to be fire. It's going to light everybody's ass. And be prepared to work for it. But I promise you, if you do, you're going to see some crazy stuff happen. Okay. So I love you guys. I hope everybody has an amazing, amazing night. And I will get this recording up probably not till tomorrow though. Okay. Bye guys.